Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. If you were here for my feature-length film, also known as my last art journaling video, first of all, bless your heart. Um, I never looked at the clock once, as you can probably tell, and I just got caught up in the moment and just kept working and was horrified to see how long that video was. However, if we're looking for a silver lining, I guess it is the fact that it gives a more realistic idea as to how long these things actually take in real time. So when people edit and fast forward and do all of that, it's kind of misleading in a sense. And I'm not criticizing in any way, because frankly, if I knew how to edit, I'd probably be doing it too. Anyway, I wanted to show, whoa, look at that cutie pie. He has to get used somewhere soon. I wanted to show you what I did after, excuse me, after the camera stopped rolling. So, not quite sure what the last thing was that you saw. I know I added the pink flamingo, and because he was on metal legs, I kind of just drew in a couple of stick legs to give, to ground him, not let him, excuse me, not let him be floating in midair. I'm sure that okay, I did fussy cut more of these echinacea purple cone flowers and scattered them about. So here's one, and of course these guys coming around and down. I drew in a couple, and then of course I needed to integrate both sides, so there are a few here as well. And I, did actually cover up a bit of the Eiffel Tower. You can see, I hope you can see, that I've done some work with my Posca pens and gel pens. So sort of drop shadows on the Eiffel Tower, around parts of the flowers. This mosaic kind of thing, I don't think that was done actually in the video either. And I had to fish this piece out of the garbage. I did have Earth, but Visit Planet I had thrown away, so I had to find that. Now these floral things, these little lighter floral pieces of paper kind of seem to be floating in a sense. So that's why I positioned some of the flowers where I did, to better integrate those elements. I don't know how easy it is for you to see, but I did do some stitching with my Posca pen around the edge of those shapes, and also did some outlining and little dots on some of the flowers. This guy, I should pin him up to the wall. Like, would you not show up every day in your studio if this guy was waiting for you? Anyway, got a weakness for dark-haired men. Although, just back to him for a moment, this unfortunately could be one of those guys that is too pretty for his own good. That's not to say that handsome men can't be nice men as well, but anyway, all those movies would tell you otherwise. I don't know that I have much more to say about this, other than I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you did watch that really long video, you know that there were points where I was beginning to wonder. And I will reiterate that happens often in the artistic world and in the process of creation, that most projects reach a point where you think, well, I might as well cut my losses and throw this away now, and that would be a mistake. So if you ever find yourself at that crossroads, number one, just reach down and find your faith and find your patience, and realize that, well, you have a couple of choices. You can either keep working right through it, because it will get past the ugly phase and into the good phase, or momentarily stop and come back to it, the next day, in a week's time, or whatever. So that's how this turned out. I don't know, frankly, if I'll ever add anything more to it, but I did want you to see it. So because I had just rediscovered that very heavy, gigantic bag of old magazine and calendar images, I was tempted to lay down and do another spread. You can thank me now, or you can thank me later for not making you watch all that. I will recap what I did, though. So this paper here with the grid, well, much of it is covered now, but basically I had almost enough to cover both pages. And that came from a post-secondary, continuing education calendar from way back when. There was also these bits of silhouetted grain that was the border, bottom and sides of calendar pages. So I removed all of those, and you can see there are gradations of color. And some of them ran vertically, so these taller pieces, and then some were, like this piece here, was at the bottom of the page. So I used that to patch and fill in. Now, I guess I should have, if I could have found my masking tape, I would have. I should have been more diligent about fixing this seam before I began my work. Now, as you know, when you remove pages from a book, especially if you're not taking out signatures that would come out quite neatly, if you're taking out a signature, you're taking out a whole chunk of pages. But if you're just randomly removing pages, then you're going to have a cut edge. And this seemed fine yesterday, but it has since opened up. Now, maybe while I'm talking, if I put a little bit of art glitter glue in there, maybe I can close this up. So, needless to say, I dipped into my, I can't seem to aim. I dipped into my blue envelope. So I've told you what I did to cover the pages, and those were unprimed, ungessoed pages, so just plain old book pages. Well, that seems to have helped. Maybe if I just hold it still for a second. Oh, I could use a dab there. And then I went through, well, first of all, I was looking for items that were, sufficient quantities off them to do a background. Because I think the days of me doing little teeny weeny, like patchwork bases is hopefully over. So I wanted bigger pieces. So I found, like I said, what I used. But then I needed some focal points. So I found this giant button. These women were part of an ad. These are those, what are those, parrots? Yeah, I guess they're all parrots. Were another. And Oh, and then I just ripped this more solid blue, because if you can try to imagine it without that, it didn't seem quite right. And then I was lucky enough to find that word that is one of those really, you know, all-encompassing type words that just seemed to fill that space and tie into a bit of these greenish tones, and I thought was really good. Now, there still are some issues, and maybe I can try to resolve them now. Because this was an ad, those ladies, the top of those ladies' heads was cropped. So what I thought I would do there is just find a red, I don't know, maybe I'll just try a gel pen. That's probably not quite right, but it would be better than what we have there. So I was just going to try to continue that. Well, that's kind of bold, but anyway. That automatically looks a wee bit better, although it would have been better. And I can look at my Posca colors too. Looks better than just having kind of that end so randomly. Yeah, that looks better, I would say. And the other thing is, ideally I would have liked this perch that these birds are on to not just, well, this I should have torn. I wonder if I can tear it now. Oh, maybe I can tear it now. This side, if I can lift this, I can tear it. Oh, yeah. I don't want it too short because I do like the fact that it's going into this white. Easier said than done. I guess I have to pull it back a little further so I have something to grip onto here. Okay, see, that automatically looks better. I'll just add a little dab of glue here. Whoopsie. And on the other end, I would have liked it to bleed off the edge of the page. However, that would have meant that 4 of the 5, whoops, I don't really want it to be up, well, maybe. 4 of the 5 birds would have been on this page, and that didn't seem good. So I think what I need to do here is extend this, and I didn't really think this through, to be honest. I'll pre-select anything. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. You would think out of these million pens that there would be something that would be pretty well. That's metallic though. Maybe this. Well, I mean, I can always putz around with it a bit more, but let's just extend this. What I should have done, sorry, it's too late now, I suppose, is grab some acrylic paint. I'm just digging through a drawer here. Not there. Whoops, sorry. I just apologized to my light. Where did I, oh, here it is. Oh, I should show you these guys too. Now I have this, but that seems wrong. This might be okay. Oh, fabric paint marker. Huh. I didn't realize that was for fabric. I thought I had, well, this is going to be too caramel. This won't be the right color, but I can at least, oh, for sure it's not right, but I can at least lay down a bit of something there, because obviously it's going to take a few layers to cover that up. But I thought I had, is it this one? Well, honestly, I didn't realize that was a fabric marker. Oh, that's not really, I would have thought that it's a bit redder. Oh, and it almost seems to be, I don't know if you can tell that, almost seems to be resisting. Get in there so there's no white spot. I did kind of want to leave a little white there because you can see this reflective. That's not the answer either. Oh, you know what would have been probably almost perfect? Is those touch-up pens for wood. You know, they tend to be in wood tones. Where is that? Okay, they're calling this dark red. Yeah, it would have been easier to try to figure this out using acrylic. Whoops, I didn't shake this. Using acrylic paint. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a wee bit, oh, see, that's not too bad. A wee bit, it just has to give the illusion. That's how you get stained. But sometimes the old finger is the best method for, well, that was a bad move there. Now this thing doesn't look cylindrical anymore. And you've seen this before. That's just all I'm digging through here. Now, I don't know, a person should probably be giving that a minute or two to dry, but can I do it? I need something finer. I think you also have to be aware that sometimes you can wreck the end of a pen, especially like a gel pen or something. That's not too bad, would you say? Let me look at it from a distance. Well, let's just say I might have to keep working at that. It does need, this is just a regular old, ooh, that's pretty bright. I thought I had an orange one, but this is fluorescent. Dare I touch this to it? Ever so slightly. Nope. Just that one stroke. Okay, it doesn't help that I went past the edge here. Now, what I could do is use that black little Sharpie just to make this a stronger line. That still went a bit crooked. Because see at the bottom here, it's almost totally black. Whoops, that's orange. I think if I solidified this, it would help. I should bleed it over the edge of that. Do a bit of, oh, is this going to lift it or is it going to blend it? Not bad. Now, at home, you might be thinking, could that inch of this possibly be worth all that effort? And the answer, I guess, is for each of us to figure out on our own. Well, see, I could have been using that. It's funny, out of all these colors, Posca pens, I do not have a brown. How can that be? Okay, I'm not going to, other than I want to touch this. Oh, Lord. Oh, now it's starting to lift. I don't know. What do we have here that's broader? Of course, once I get black on there, I'm not going to be able to make it any lighter, am I? Unless I cover it with gesso. So, let's re-examine this and see if, like on this one, I haven't done any doodling whatsoever. So that is sort of my new favorite thing to do. So I may at some point come back to this and think to myself, yeah, I want to jazz it up a bit. I think what I like about this part with these women is that red there kind of picks up this bird, and there seems to be a connection even to this perch. I think I get away with this giant button here because there are these gradations of color. There's the blue, so you can see that this came off whatever this was. That was a happy accident. I didn't realize it at the time. So there are these sort of greeny grays, white, blue, and then a bigger patch of, slightly lighter color. So I think for now, this is where I spread some glue accidentally. I think for now I may just leave this and let it percolate a bit. I do want to keep this video short, but I do want to show you something else. Now, you may remember, this is kind of several months ago, I think. Well, who knows with the passage of time. I made these watercolor paper zines. I just have all these elastics to try to train these guys to be slow. To stay closed. So this is watercolor paper, and I have, okay, so let's pretend this is it. So I don't know if you can tell, I've done some outlining here. used a metallic pen around there, did some circles. And the beauty of this, and I think her name was Mindless, or her channel name was Mindless Crafting. The whole idea was to create these little teeny little projects that you could do, you know, carry around in your purse and do when you're waiting to pick up kids, or, you know, stuck somewhere and with time on your hands in a waiting room or something. So I like what I've done so far. I don't know if or when this will be done. Obviously, I haven't done anything on this side whatsoever. What is this anyway? Huh. Why is it that I don't remember this? This is watercolor paper. Could I have... I must have... I guess I stamped that on there. Clearly, this is my more favorite side. So there was this one as well. Dare to be different. Oopsie. Now, in that video, I also demonstrated that there are different ways to cut the paper to make the zine. And basically, it was... some of them fold better than others, especially if the paper is a bit thicker. Look how beautiful this is. So, yeah, it's coming back to me. Excuse me. Watercolor washes and some stenciling. So there's that. And, okay, so I'm putting these aside, and that's kind of what I'm getting. So, clearly... maybe this one folds better this way. Yeah, it lies flatter. And that's also why I've had those elastics on there to keep, to try to train the paper to do what I want it to. Again, watercolor wash, stamping, so some, like, however I had it folded was where I began some of the doodle work. The inside of this one. So you can see that I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see that I have enough work cut out for me here. Work, pleasure, unadulterated pleasure, and Zen activity to keep me occupied for probably months, if not years. There's this one. Isn't it sweet? Sweet. Oh, this is folding poorly. And then the final one. Oh, this one goes the other way. These are all hats. Whoopsie. Not very compliant. So it's basically some hat stamps. So you can just see as I'm handling these things that some of these are much better than others. in terms of folding. However, I think I will keep the elastics around them. And I think, see, this one feels like it's inside out. But maybe I should, let me fold it with the more difficult side. I should turn them all inside out. And I believe it feels like I used, oh, maybe not. I was going to say it feels like I used the same weight of paper, but you know what? Now that I think about it and handle these again, some of this paper was thinner than others. So if working at a scale like this appeals to you, then by all means, hey, you know what? Why don't I try to link that video? I will put, assuming I can do it, I will put the link to that video in the description box. I may even be able to do an in-video link. God willing and the creek don't rise. Maybe I can do that as well. Because you can see how portable, you know, I wouldn't, if I was taking this with me, I wouldn't take this, obviously, but I'd pick a selection of colors, a few Poscas, and again, I could be stranded on a desert island and probably not finish. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. And because I'm having a lot of fun with this whole art journaling business, you may be seeing more of those videos. You know, obviously other things interspersed as well. I just can't quite do this till harvest is over. I will be doing final flip throughs on some of the blush journals, and I'll probably do another or one or two more videos on decorating and choosing ephemera for journals. Don't really like to reveal every single thing that is going into the journals, because I think the ultimate purchaser or recipient, you know, probably would like to have a few surprises. However, there's a lot there, and I'm sure I can share some of that with you without blowing all the surprises. Okay, guys, thank you, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.